You're blaming people for what other people did, and then that starts encroaching on free speech.
There have been a lot of efforts to rewrite history over January 6th in the last 4 years. And I know you had limited availability to the internet and stuff like that, but I'm sure you've seen, some of the stuff that's come out about how this was Trump called it a day of love. I know you weren't physically there, but I'm sure you were watching it that day. I know you were kind of commenting on it. Your lawyer described the riot in court as a disgrace and embarrassment to the country, a historic embarrassment, and you later apologized for what had happened. But yeah, I mean, Trump called it a day of love. What's your assessment sitting here today of the assault on the Capitol? How do you define what happened that day?
I think what happened, it's complicated how I think about it, because I do think it was I don't think it was a good day, right? I think there could have been different decisions made by individuals present at the Capitol, but it also was a horrible day because they used that as a way to lock people up for decades. I'm of the position, and I've always held the position that if you put your hands on a cop, you should be charged, right? If you trespass, you should be charged with trespassing. And I don't even think anybody that actually did those things would disagree with me. Maybe a couple would disagree with me. But the extent of the prosecutions was extensive, right? So I guess those are the two aspects that I see it in.
So a couple of days ago, you told Alex Jones, the people who did this, they need to feel the heat. They need to be put behind bars. They need to be prosecuted. Who do you mean by they?
What I mean by they is pretty much anybody who perpetrated what I believe to be injustice, specifically in these January 6 cases. You have people at the top of that would be Merrick Garland. And when I say feel the heat, I want to be clear. I want investigations.
Well, let's drill into that for a minute there, because Trump not only pardoned people like yourself who weren't there, right, yeah, and who were basically prosecuted for sending messages and organizing and all the rest of it, but he also pardoned a bunch of people who did physically assault cops, threw stuff at cops, pepper sprayed cops, all of that stuff.
Beat them with clubs.
Beat them with clubs. Where do you stand morally right now on that?
I think a lot of people are missing the point of why those people were pardoned, right? Because if you assaulted a police officer, you shouldn't be pardoned. But within that scope, right, the process has to be fair. If the process isn't fair, then the process is corrupt. If the process is corrupt, the pardon is deserved, right? So it's a lot of people are focusing on what the person did. I don't think a lot of people, if there's a video of you smashing a cop with a club or pepper spraying a cop, I don't think there's many people in America that could say, well, that was the right thing. But when you look at the actual, when they arrested that person, how they prosecuted them, how the motions were filed, what was allowed, the juries were a big ordeal in D.C., in my case and all the other cases. So if there is a miscarriage of justice, a pardon is deserved. And it's not, my position is, it shouldn't just be for J6ers. I think that there should be a swath of pardons. I'm going to go ahead and say Biden pardoning, I think it was 1,500, or commuting the sentences of 1,500 nonviolent drug offenders was the correct thing to do. And I was happy he did it. In the facility where I was in, there was 22 people that, while I was getting processed to get let go, there was 22 people being processed that they didn't even know that they got their sentences commuted as of yet. So those people are home and back with their families. And I think my gripe is with the system.